Greetings, gentle Olivers and harsh Olivers. Welcome to day 3 of my olive experiment. Today, we will be tasting the final variety of olive which I have acquired. Before that, though, some housekeeping. Firstly, I want to address at the top, because I know people will notice and leave comments about it, my fingernails. Now, my right side, a little long, but otherwise pretty normal. My left, you'll see all sorts of black goop and such under there. It's, can I get that to focus? Probably not. Anyway, that's not dirt or detritus or debris of any kind. It's paint, because I was painting earlier today, and thought wisely to put a glove on the hand I was holding the spray can with, and unwisely did not do the same for my other hand. So, fear not, viewers, there's no olive contamination here, especially because today we're doing black olives, which means if any of this black paint gets in the olives, it shouldn't matter at all. Now, I do want to say, as a policy, I try my best not to show any of the branding of any of the olives I'm eating. This is because corporations, in fact, are not people and don't deserve rights. And so, I haven't shown their logos or any of the sort. That sentence was supposed to flow better, but these videos are fully unscripted. But a value I hold greater than disadvantaging corporations in any way I possibly can is preservationalism of media and information. And so today, I will be showing you the entirety of the branding and nutritional information on this can of olives. I would have loved to get a jar of olives, but as far as I could tell, my local large store did not have whole black olives in jars. So, let us commit this sin for your education. I'm going to give it a nice turn. Take a peek at whatever you'd care to know. The nutrition facts. No fiction here. That's all within 20% of the actual values. The FDA says so. So, let's crack these bad boys open. Now, many of you may be familiar with the humble twist can opener, and I'm certain nearly all of you have been using it in a way I personally consider wrong your entire lives. You know, of course, there's the geared wheel for grip, and then the sharp wheel for slicing. And the majority of people I've ever seen open a can place the sharp wheel on top of the can. And I think this is bad. And I know that the designers of the can opener also think this is bad, and that the sharp wheel is supposed to go on the side. How do I know that? Because of this little piece of plastic, specifically designed to rest the opener on the can. Now you may be thinking, what's the difference? Or perhaps you're thinking, oh, isn't that dangerous? Sharp? And you're wrong on both fronts. It is different. And it's equally sharp, just sharp in a different way. A way I believe you're less likely to hurt yourself. So while I'm opening this, didn't have that quite aligned right. There we go. Now, while I get this bad boy opened, I will tell you the benefits of opening your cans like this. First of all, no annoying lip. The can has an absolutely straight side, so if you, like most of the time you do with a can, want to empty its entire contents at once, you must simply invert the can. No dealing with a lip of any kind. But additionally, let's say you do want to reuse the can, want it to continue to store part of its contents. Well, bada bing, bada boom, baby. You've got yourself a perfect lid that fits right on top. Now, this is not an airtight seal. You may still want to put some kind of additional sealant on that, but that gets you 95% of the way there. So I swear to any potential deities that may exist that this is the best way to open any can. Save, of course, for the cans with the pull tabs themselves, for those weak of soul and spirit who are living lives of moral failing. Anyway, let us get into the olives. I've been told by olive tubers and olive enjoyers in general that black olives have the strongest olive flavor and are the most disagreeable to new olive cadets. But I've been informed recently by a dear friend that black olives are actually their favorite, and that they do not particularly care for green or Kalamata olives. That being said, my prediction of how I'm going to react to these olives has been shaken. And now I have little direction or clarity as to what the result of me eating this olive will be. That said, let us smell with all of our might, shall we? A very similar scent to the green olive, I will say. Perhaps a little more kind of a subtle wine scent to there. So wine-esque will be the first adjective of 4 I will describe this with. I'll throw in sweet again, but also animalistic. This is an olive with some kind of deep spirit and soul which yearns. And the final adjective I will describe the scent of this olive with: black. Now, down the hatch. Okay. This olive definitely has traits comparable to the last two. I'm gonna say it's definitely, in terms of strength of flavor, actually very similar to that of the green olive. It's not an overpowering flavor. Salty, similar to the green olives. Honestly, sweeter, I would say, than the green. The texturally, it's closer to the Kalamata olive. Kind of very goopy on the inside, but even less of a defined skin than yesterday's olive. Yeah. Let me interrupt this oliving. I can't believe my calendar almost failed to remind me to say that it is currently Thursday, January 8th, 2026 Common Era, 9:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 23 seconds. Back to the description of the olive. A little bit of saltiness. I do think the green was saltier. Green had a decent amount of salt on the aftertaste, if I'm remembering correctly. A thing I've noticed about all of these olives is that they do have a noticeable degree of aftertaste. Not strong, but lingering. All of that being said, I'm a little surprised. I do think I prefer the black olive to the Kalamata. In which case, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 10. I feel like if I was at a party and there was nothing else to eat but a big bowl of black olives, I would maybe eat 2, perhaps 3. Anyway, this is where you would expect the video to end, but folks, you have a treat in store. Unlike your typical olive tuber, I am not making a separate video for the glassation of this can of olives. I'm doing it right here, right now. You may think, Devon, branding. You're showing branding for what? A living kitchen? But no. I am showing you branding for a restaurant that no longer exists. So my morals remain intact. Now, let's see here. A decent jar. I, of course, am very spatially aware and know that this can of olives will fit entirely into this jar. So let's do it. Now, in case you were worrying about my fine desk, I have laid down a single paper towel. So, cleanliness, it's next to some otherness that one could say. Enough dallying. I better pour for you. Sir, shaken or stirred? Fuck. I immediately got olive juice all over. Boy, this paper towel sure is putting in its fair share of work. That's olives. That's black olives contained. And I'll never have to pour olives from a can into a jar on this YouTube channel ever again. Anywho, it's been lovely. I'm running low on time, but, if we can get to 8 subscribers, I was going to today, but I'll save it for an 8 subscriber special. Tell you about my jacket. My robe, in fact. Anywho, toodaloo.